Hello everyone, hope everyone is safe and sound and staying at home. I'm Arita Haq and I'm once again back on our lesson day with an economics lesson. And today is the second lesson on demand. So without any further delay, let's just get started. So in the previous video, we learned about what demand actually is and how demand and price are inversely related and what is individual and market demand. But today, we will be starting off with what is demand schedule. So a demand schedule is nothing but it's a schedule which lists the different quantities demanded for a product at different prices over a particular time period, which is very simple. It's just a schedule in which there is a list of the products or the quantities demanded of a product at different prices over a particular time period. So now moving on to something very, very important, which is the demand curve. So what is the demand curve? So a demand curve is nothing but a curve which is a graphical representation of the relationship between the price of a good and the quantity demanded for a given period of time. So here is a demand curve. I hope this gives you a very clear idea about what a demand curve is. So this is basically the graphical representation. So the information from a demand curve can be plotted on a diagram. So as you can see, in a demand curve, price is measured on the vertical axis, which means this one, and the quantity demanded is measured on the horizontal axis, which is this one. All right. So now we will be discussing two very important things. So we will be discussing about the effect of a change in price on demand. So the first one is extension in demand, which says a rise in quantity demanded caused by a fall in the price of the product itself. It's very simple. So in the previous video, we talked about how a fall in price of a product is likely to lead to a rise in the demand for it. Like we often see when there is a sale going in the market, the demand for the products rise, right? So as the sellers lower the price, the demand of the product tends to get more. We tend to buy it more. As the cheaper it gets, we tend to buy it more. So this is basically it, that a rise in quantity demanded caused by a fall in the price of the product. So if they decrease the price, we as consumers tend to buy it more. So this is what extension in demand is. So now in contrast, a rise in the price will cause a contraction in demand, which can also be referred to as a decrease in the quantity demanded. So contraction in demand is basically the opposite of extension in demand. So here a fall in quantity demanded is caused by a rise in the price of the product itself. So in here, if the sellers increase the price of a product, the demand of the product or the quantity demanded is decreased. So this is basically what contraction in demand means. So to give you a more pellucid or clear idea, here is a diagram. So in this diagram, you can see the red arrows are pointing towards contraction in demand and the blue arrows are pointing towards extension in demand. So what happens in extension in demand? So in extension in demand, what happens is if they lower the price, as you can see here, the price decreases from $10 to $7 and thus the quantity demanded increases from 55 to 75. So as the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. So the opposite happens in contraction in demand. So you can see the price is increasing from $10 to $12 and thus it causes the quantity demanded to decrease from 55 to 40. So this is what we basically mean by extension and contraction in demand. So now we will be learning about the conditions of demand. So conditions of demand are the factors that can cause consumers to demand different quantities of a product even if the price has not changed. So first of all, let us know what a normal good and what an inferior good is, because these two terms are very important to understand the changes in income factor. So, what is a normal good? A product whose demand increases when our income increases and decreases when our income falls. Example, gold, jewelry, car, smartphones, etc. So now what is an inferior good? An inferior good is a product whose demand decreases when our income increases and increases when our income falls. Example, CRT TV, fan, normal mobile phone set, etc. So, why we are saying this? So now, changes in income happens. Usually what happens in changes in income is it increases when our income increases, because when our income increases, our power to purchase more things will increase and thus our demand will increase, right? And if we don't get the sufficient amount of salary, our demand will not be that much because we don't have that much money to buy that much things. So when income increases, demand will increase for normal goods like jewelry and car. And when income falls, demand will also fall because we cannot afford to buy them. And for inferior goods, when our income rises, our demand falls. We don't want to buy normal mobile sets when our income is very high. And when our income falls, the demand for inferior goods rises because that time we cannot afford to buy normal goods. We have to buy inferior goods because our salary is very low, our income is very low. So we do not have any option left. So that is how it works actually. So now we will be learning about changes in price of related products. So first of all, we have price of substitutes. So now, what do we actually mean by substitutes? Substitutes are goods which can be used instead of another good, or it can replace that good. For example, tea or coffee, Coke or Pepsi, etc. So why do we have to go for substitutes in the first place? We go for substitutes, as discussed in the last video as well, when the price of one product increases, we tend to switch to a substitute product because the price is high and we would definitely want to shift to products which have a lower price. So for example, there is an option between tea and coffee. So the price of tea increases in shops. So what we will do is we will switch to an alternate product which is coffee or the substitute of tea. So this is how substitutes actually work. Next, we have prices of complements. So now what are complements? Complements are actually goods which are bought and used together. Alright, so for example, we use car and fuel together because without a fuel, a car won't work, right? So what happens here is, for example, we are buying a car. So the price of the car is the same that we want to buy. It's quite affordable for us. So we have no problem with that. But what happens is the price of the fuel increases, which also affects the price of the car. So either ways, we are bound to pay a higher amount of money for the car, if even if the price of the car has not changed, but the price of the fuel has increased. So eventually the price of the car has increased. It will affect the price of the car. So that is why component goods affect each other. All right, so that's what happens, that an increase in fuel will cause a decrease in the quantity demanded for a car. So that's what happens here. So next we will move on to advertising campaigns. So what do advertising campaigns do? So an advertising campaign or a successful advertising campaign will increase the demand of a product. Now this is very simple. We often see advertisements on TV about a product, and we are often interested to go and buy it because the way they show it attracts us, it persuades us, they represent the product in such a way that the people are mesmerized by it, and they just want to go buy it. They just want to go to the shop and buy it because they just represent it in such a way that we cannot hold ourselves back. So this is how advertising campaigns actually increase the demand of a product. So vice versa, less advertisement will lead to less demand for the product. So advertising campaigns are very helpful when it comes to increasing the demand of a product. Now we will be moving on to changes in population. So an increase in population increase the demands for all types of product. Now how? Because if there are more people will buy stuff, they will need more things, so this will increase the demand for all types of products. But however, age also plays a very important role. So if aging population rises, then demand for medicine and wheelchair will increase because old people need medicines and wheelchairs more. So if there are more old people, they will tend to buy these products more. So it depends. On the other hand, if the birth rate of the country increases, people will tend to buy more baby related stuff like diapers and toys and everything. So age is also a very big factor. So now changes in taste and fashion. So taste and fashion really influences demand for certain products such as food, clothes and entertainment. So in these sectors, taste and fashion is very important because for example, we young people really want to keep up with the trend, and thus in terms of clothing, in terms of everything, we want to keep up with the trend. So if talking about clothing, we want to wear more fashionable and designer clothes, and this will influence the demand for clothing of young people significantly. So our rise in vegetarianism in some countries has caused the demand for meat to decrease, because in some countries many people have become vegetarians and they just do not want to have or consume any meat, and that's why the demand for meat has decreased. But the demand for vegetarian foods like all sort of vegetables and stuff has increased. So health reports do play a significant influence on demand for particular foods, because when we go to a hospital, we test if we are having some sort of issues with our body, and then the doctor sees the report and he tells us that we cannot have meat anymore, so what we have to do is only consume vegetables. So for example, so this is how the health reports have a significant impact on demand for particular food. Now, other factors include change in weather condition, expectations about future or special events, etc. So these factors can also influence the demand in many ways. So thank you so much everyone for watching today's video so patiently. I really hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Have a good day.